Hi, my name is Peggy Martinez. Today is September 4th. It's about, I don't know, 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm in Eureka, California. I'm heading east on 4th Street, which is also Highway 101. I am sight impaired. I do have low vision, but I also identify as blind because my vision is not reliable. But I do have some vision, which I find very useful. I use a white cane for identification and also for my travel information. I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do. So we're basically today focusing on Highway 101 here in Eureka. We have many really great improvements that have happened because our Caltrans District 1 has listened to a lot of suggestions that we've made through the years. So I think what I'll do right now is just show you guys the nice crosswalks that we have. So here are these it's a nice bright laddered crosswalk, and it's I would consider it a high visibility crosswalk. And as you can hear and see, the stream of traffic is pretty brisk and it's moving pretty quick. And while I'm standing here, I will tell you that I would not cross this street by myself. I cannot make eye contact with drivers, so even if a driver is stopped, and even if I can hear that they're stopped, I have no way of knowing that another driver will stop. And this is a multi-lane street, and it is very loud. So there are a lot of different things that play. There's ambient noise from all the cars and trucks. Then we also have to consider quiet cars, which make no noise. So this is an intersection that I think is great that it's been adapted, and there's a lot of really, having the crosswalk here is a great thing for a lot of people, but I would not cross this by myself, nor would I suggest that my friends in the blindness community do it either, because it's loud and cars are going pretty fast. But anyway, so right now I'm pointing south, and I'm going to turn, and now we're going to be heading east, and we're going to just navigate on this road, 4th Street, and we're on the south side of 4th Street, and we're going to experience a couple different types of traffic signals, some older signals and some new ones, and we're going to talk about the differences and why the newer ones are so much better. Okay, so I guess while I'm here, we'll just look down here, and you guys can see the truncated domes that basically are the delineator that gives blind folks and anybody for that matter the information that they're going, this truncated dome patch, or I'm sure there's a technical name for it, but it basically is the space between the pedestrian and vehicular way. And I'm just gonna kind of cane around a little bit. So just to say here that this is pretty good in terms of the location and the placement, because and I hear a car stopping, which I will ignore. I will tell them to go. Go ahead. That was nice of that person to stop. Go ahead, you guys. Okay, anyway, the reason that this is good is that, in my opinion, that this is well, I don't know everything about this, so I'm not gonna, actually, I'm gonna change my mind, and I'm not gonna qualify this installation here, because that's not what we're talking about. So we're gonna let that go. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna cross now, and I hope that it's not too bouncy as I walk along. Okay, here we go. So now I'm not going to talk for a little bit. Oh, okay. Well, we have here a fence here, and it's a chain link fence. Okay, so my only alternative is to basically walk into the street, which I'm going to do, and it is not great, okay? In my opinion, there should be some kind of a pedestrian, like Jersey barrier or something here that, yeah, okay, so I'm just checking, and there is a fence. So I'm gonna put my cane in my left hand, and I'm just gonna stick my arm out, and it's quiet now, so that's kind of cool. Well, that's useful, okay? So here we are, walking along in the street. It would be good if there was some pedestrian infrastructure here while this construction or whatever it is taking place. Yeah, it's not great. It's loud and it's scary, honestly, and I would not recommend. Hold on. Ooh. Okay. Well, now it feels like the sidewalk is free. Anyway, so I wouldn't recommend that. I mean, what are you going to do? You got to get to where you got to go, and you sometimes just have to walk in the street, and you have to basically make yourself look as big as you can. And if you have your cane with you, then at least the people know that you cannot see. So hopefully that means that they will give a little bit of grace and slow down, and you know, and it'll all work out well. Okay, so now here we are. We're feeling the truncated domes. It's quiet. I can see I myself, like I say, have vision, so I can see the crosswalk lines. Somebody with no vision at all would do things a little bit differently, but they would essentially walk across the street, and in this case, it's a very straight shot for which to do that. So here we go. So in Old Town Eureka, we have nice wide sidewalks, which is really great. I am now approaching D Street. I'm gonna cross. I basically am always listening to the traffic and listening to the, you know, the surge and then the lack of traffic. And I think that you can all hear, or at least most folks are able to hear, how loud it is when the trucks pass, and it can be distracting. I will tell you that I'm pretty familiar with this path. I've lived in Eureka for a long time, or in Humboldt for many, many years, so I'm pretty familiar with how things operate. Hello. So I'll just mention that what this is here. This is a historical building, and we have a lot of historical buildings in Eureka, so this is how we have to do our ramps, so that the building itself isn't compromised, but people have a way to get in and out of the building. So just a note that is what this is about. So when we're going in when we're heading west, and you feel a ramp in front of you, you basically have to turn back around and just navigate around it. And that's okay. It's just something that we learn here when we travel in this historic district. Okay, now we are going to come up to a traffic signal. And this traffic signal is an older type. Let me see if I can show it to you. It has a button. It just has one button on it, and the purpose, of course, is to alert the traffic signal that there's a pedestrian here. So I'm going to push this button and I'm going to cross over because I can hear the cars, I can hear the surge of traffic heading in, we call it parallel traffic. So I can hear the parallel traffic going in the same direction that I just traveled in. That is how most people who are blind tell when it is safe to cross a street. But we now have a lot of other conditions that we have to listen for. And that is why I think it's really, hopefully you'll find it interesting to look at this newer intersection. So now, I usually wait to the very beginning of a surge, of a signal cycle, let's just say. So I'm hearing the cars go by me. So that means I'm hearing the parallel traffic, and I just told you that I use the parallel traffic as a guide. But sometimes when the parallel traffic is moving, people are also going to be turning left, and in the middle of the cycle, in this case, because that's how this traffic light operates. So what that means to me is that it's not a safe time to cross. I think it's safer to cross in the middle, or I'm sorry, at the beginning of the traffic surge. Okay, so okay, so here we go. Because we all heard these guys gun their engines. They went, it was very clear. Most people are probably not turning left, but it's still not a completely safe thing, which is why this new we call it an accessible pedestrian signal, which is why these new signals are so much better. So we'll get to that here in just a minute. Yeah. So we're heading east, but now we're on the south side of the street. You probably figured that out if you were listening to my little narrative. Okay. Okay, now we are at the corner of 4th and F. And now we have this old style signal, old push button signal. So I'm gonna push it, and it just has this little beeping sound. But if you had trouble hearing, or if you were deaf, you would not hear it. And there's really not a lot of haptic feedback either. No, there's really none. So you don't really know if you have activated anything. So, but that's old school, and that's what we dealt with for years and years, a lot of us. Anyhow, we're gonna listen. Okay, our parallel traffic went, so we go. think G Street. Okay, wow. All right, so yeah, we have yet another old school signal. So I'm gonna push it. I'm not gonna cross now because I'm in the mid-cycle. I just simply will not. Even though the light might be green and all you sighted folks can see that it's green, I just stay put and wait till the beginning of the cycle. But we're almost up to our new signal. Ooh, shoot, I missed that. Ah, shoot. Well, shoot. Well, I missed it, so I guess I'm not gonna cross. Even though I'm positive I have lots of time, I'm still not gonna cross because I missed because I was blabbing, essentially, so I will not blab. All right, so now our cross traffic is going, and I'm gonna listen. I'm not gonna talk. But just one thing to say, I pressed the button and you can hear the beep. But if you couldn't hear, you wouldn't be able to hear it. Okay, so that's what we're listening for. Our surge, and this next intersection that we're approaching is 4th and H, and we have nice new signals here. We have them in other places along Highway 101 here in Eureka, and we appreciate that. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the orientation of how the installation and the orientation and why it matters when certain things are oriented correctly and when they are not oriented correctly, how it can make basically an intersection pretty much unusable for people, because depending on the positioning of the pole and the positioning of what we call the directional arrow, or at least that's what I call it, it can make the intersection, or the usability and the reliability of crossing and just the orientation of how you are going to stand and how you're going to position yourself, it's going to make all the difference in the world. Okay, now let me just sort of show you guys some stuff here. Now, this is interesting because what we have is we've got a planting situation, and then we have our pole. The pole is, honestly, it's not in an ideal spot because it's a little bit far from the intersection in terms of how we would position ourselves. But you know, we also know this pole has probably been here for a long time, and it's expensive to put poles up. This is teachable though. I believe that this, and I'll show you the other intersection. We'll do a circuit around this, and I'll show you guys different things about it. But so all we did was walk one block south from 4th and H to 5th and H. And we are going to basically look at this signal, and we're going to and I'll describe it to you. All right, so what we call an accessible pedestrian signal. Now, there are a few important elements to this thing.
Wait.
So
walk sign is on to cross. Walk sign is
so what's happening with this
walk sign
is
on.
There's a vibration that I'm feeling with my fingers. It is talking, it is telling me that there's a walk sign to cross, And what else is happening is there is this directional arrow, and it's pointing in the direction of travel, and it's very nice, clear, right angles. I mean, it's very nicely installed, so we appreciate that. So I'm going to push the button now, and you can hear it saying wait, 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 which is good. Okay, so we're going to just listen. Okay, so it's saying wait to cross. Now, some of these, well, you can program it, and I think it's useful to have the street identified that you're crossing. So sometimes these things will tell you the name of the street that you're going to cross.
Wait to cross.
And I'm pressing the button again, and I'm holding it down, and I'm just with my hand on it. Okay, so now the walk sign is on and the vibration occurred. So the reason that there is a vibration on the associated, or the reason there is a vibration component to the signal is so that if you are deaf blind, and there are many people who are, if you are deaf blind, you can feel that it is the right time to cross. Now, this is a little bit dicey, this particular installation, and I don't really want to go into it too much because I would imagine that there are a lot of reasons why this is the way it is. But I also think it's fair to say that, I mean, this is teachable. You could teach a person very easily how to navigate this intersection. But best case scenario, the pole would be closer to the crosswalk. And that's a whole other sort of topic. But when it's installed properly, it really, or when it's possible, when conditions are right, you know, really not when you're retrofitting, essentially when you're doing a new install, you have a lot more leeway. In this case, I'm sure, you know, that they didn't, but the directional arrow is oriented properly. I'm gonna press the button. I'm gonna sort of orient myself to where we're gonna cross. Okay, so it's saying that the walk sign is on, so we're crossing. Now, I find it a little interesting that when the walk sign goes on, the voice actually gets a little quieter. So I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but I did. And I would wonder why that is. Okay, now we're going to cross back over the highway. And I'm pressing the button now, and it's saying wait, 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 which of course I will do. Okay, now when it said that the walk sign was on, there was a truck going through the intersection, so that is an interesting and unfortunate situation. So that particular person probably, you know, ran the yellow light, I guess, but that's not a great thing to have the walk sign going on when cars could be still in the intersection. So we're going to cross this again. We're going to go back where I'm now pointing west. I'm going to find the pole. Now, in this case, it's very close to the crosswalk. It's lined up really well. I mean, this just happens to work out that it was able to, you know, work out like this. So it's really loud, and you can maybe you might understand how ambient noise can be so well, it can be distracting, it can be stressful. Yeah, ambient noise is a tough thing. But this is the highway, so we have lots of traffic. Anyway, I'm gonna wait till this. I'm gonna wait for the next surge, and I'm sorry, the next signal, next walk sign. So I'm pressing the button, but right now This one is not loud, so I'm just gonna have to rely on the tactile vibral. Well, it's going, but for whatever reason, I'm not feeling very confident. It is going right now, and chances are the light is green, but I'm gonna have to stop talking and focus on this because I wanna make sure that I'm going at the right time. So I'll just say while we're standing here that yeah, I do wait. I wait. If I'm not feeling confident that the time is right, I will wait. I probably spent a lot of time at street corners waiting around across streets, but I also think it's, you know, safety first and all that, don't you know? Okay, so now I'm going to press the button, and now I'm going to be quiet and wait again. Okay, so just one last thing about that crossing over is that that particular announcement was very quiet, but because it had the tactile vibral, I was able to tell when the light was, when the walk sign was on, and that's a very big component or a big plus or a big benefit of why these newer accessible pedestrian signals are so much better. So I think we'll stop here, and I hope this was beneficial to you.